I received a phone call from my daughter who lives overseas. The content of the call was quite strange. "Mom, are you traveling with Dad?" She asked me out of the blue. But I'm not traveling with my husband. Since I was the only one at home, and my husband was on a business trip, I told her the truth, without understanding the intent of the question. "I'm not traveling with your father. He's on a business trip in LA. "A business trip? And in LA? So you're not with them?" "Of course not. He's on a business trip, like I said. Why are you asking?" "Dad is in Hawaii." "What? My husband can't be in Hawaii. He just left for LA yesterday." However, there's no reason for my daughter to lie. My heart skipped a beat. What I didn't know at the time was that the unimaginable would come to light. My name is Helen, 56 years old. I am a housewife who works as a banker. I have been married to my husband William, who is 1 year older than me, for 30 years. After such a long time, I don't have a crush on him anymore, but my days are ordinary and peaceful. Humans are not satisfied with the status quo and have high hopes for the future. But it is precisely because I have nothing to live for that I find the ordinary days so precious. And only recently have I come to realize this. I have a job, a husband who has been with me for many years, and I have nothing to worry about in my daily life. My daughter has found what she wants to do and is pursuing her dreams. I'll be a fool if I wish for more happiness. But lately, I've been a little concerned about something. My husband William has been acting strangely. My husband's company has always required him to work overtime on a regular basis, and he often comes home late. But for the past few months, he has been working overtime almost every day. He used to come home around 9 p.m. at the latest, but now it is often after 11 p.m. There are days when it's late in the morning and I can't wait for him to get home, so I sometimes go to bed before he does. We spend less time together than before, and our conversations have become minimal. On this particular day, as I was getting ready to go to work, my husband finally got up. "Good morning. You were late coming home again." When I try to talk to him, he doesn't make an effort to respond. If I don't do something about it, I feel our lift will grow larger. Feeling this way, I asked him in a slightly stronger tone of voice. "You've been working a lot of overtime recently and coming home very late." My husband took one look at me as if I was bothering him. "I'm coming home late because I'm busy at work. I have to support my subordinates, and there's just so much to do." "But that doesn't mean you should be working this much overtime. We haven't had meals together lately." "We've been married for decades. You don't have to worry about that now." "Ugh, you're so persistent. Unlike you, I'm busy." My husband raises his voice, turns bright red, and glares at me. I've never seen him like this before, and I shatter involuntarily. Why is he so angry? I didn't say anything so strange. What's wrong with wanting to spend time together? I didn't agree with some of what he said, but if I said any more back, I would lose control of the situation. Seeing William's unusual anger, I felt it was best not to provoke him any further. I took a slow, deep breath and told him in a matter-of-fact tone. "I'm sorry. I was just worried about your condition." "I'm fine, so don't tell me what to do." "All right, but just make sure you are getting enough nutrients. Breakfast is ready." "Yeah, I know. Don't you need to go to work now?" "Yeah, I'm gonna go. Have a good day." There was no goodbye from my husband. A little teary-eyed, I headed off to work. During my break at work, I thought back to this morning's conversation with my husband, and I felt like crying again. I was looking at the website of my favorite grocery store on my phone to distract myself when I received a call from my daughter, Julie. "Hello, Julie?" I immediately responded, and my daughter also began to speak in a cheerful voice. "Oh, Mom, it's been a long time. How are you?" "I'm fine." "I'm glad to hear that you're doing well too." "I'm fine, of course, since I get to do what I want to do." "I'm glad you're having fun." My daughter Julie has always loved foreign brand products. Ever since she was a junior high school student, she had a dream of working for her favorite brand company and immersed herself in her studies. She put a lot of effort into her French studies, and during her high school years, she decided to do everything herself, including going on a homestay abroad. After graduating from high school, she entered a university overseas and now works for an apparel brand in France, fulfilling her dream. I want to go to a college overseas. I want to work abroad. When she said that, I wondered what would happen. As a parent, I was always worried about sending my only daughter abroad. Of course, my husband was against it, but my daughter desperately appealed to us. In the end, my daughter's passion won out, and we decided to support her. Our daughter is now 28 years old. It has been quite a while since she went abroad, but she seemed to be very fulfilled in her work environment. While I was thinking about this, she spoke to me. By the way, Dad used to send me messages from time to time, but lately he hasn't been sending any at all.
Oh, he seems to be a little busy with work.
What? Even though he's about to retire? Actually, I told my daughter what happened this morning. Then she said angrily, "What's with him?" I can't believe it. How can he talk to you like that when you were worried about him?
It's okay. He's tired. And I may have hit a nerve.
It's not your fault. I mean, is that really overtime? Isn't it weird that at his age, he's working overtime and coming home later?
That's what I thought too.
Do you think he's spending time at strip clubs?
Strip clubs? I couldn't help but raise my voice at the unexpected words that came out of my daughter's mouth. I came to my senses and hurriedly told my daughter, "What are you talking about? How can your father go to such a place?"
Well, Dad doesn't have any hobbies. I bet he doesn't spend any money at all.
It's not surprising if he goes to places like that. But that doesn't mean...
Mom, you trust Dad too much.
From what I've heard,
his behavior is out of the ordinary. I think you should question him a little more.
I don't know.
Anyway, you shouldn't believe everything he says.
My daughter's words made a strange kind of sense to me. I had never really thought about it before, but now that I think about it more, it still feels strange. Looking back, my husband has changed a lot in the last few months. He's been working more overtime and coming home later, of course, but he also seemed to be better groomed than before. He used to not care about his hair, but now I can see a brand new wax on his vanity. He used to go to work in a suit that I picked out for him. Recently, however, he has started to buy his own clothes, saying he will prepare them himself. My husband has never been much of a shopper. So why is he doing this now? When I feel uncomfortable with one thing, questions start coming up one after another. The image of my husband was falling apart inside me. Could William be lying to me? But why? Why would he lie to me? If he's lying about working overtime, why would he go to the trouble of lying to me? If he had a hobby, he could have told me. I wouldn't blame him if he told me honestly that he was out of drinking. Does that mean there is something else he wants to hide? Could it be an affair? That thought crossed my mind for a moment. But my husband is 58 years old. Cheating at his age? It doesn't happen that often. So I dismissed the idea of cheating as an option. A month later, my husband suddenly decided to go on a business trip in LA for 4 days and 3 nights. The subordinate who was supposed to go on a trip was unable to go on a business trip, so my husband was asked to fill in for him.
"I'm the only one who's available to go,"
he said. I used to really miss my husband when he was away on business trips, but now I feel relieved somehow. Because I doubt him somewhere in my heart. Because I don't trust him. Because I avoid talking to him. And in any case, I feel comfortable spending time alone. So he left on a business trip the next day. Since I was off work that day, I decided to stay home and watch a movie. I prepared cookies and tea and was about to press play when my phone rang. Just when I was all ready to start.
"Oh, Julie."
It was my daughter Julie who was calling. I thought she told me the other day that she's busy right now and that she's on the move a lot. She rarely calls me when she's busy. So why the sudden call? I wondered. Hello? When I answered, she opened her mouth with these words. Mom, are you traveling with Dad? What? That means you made up, right? I was a little worried because when I called you before, you seemed to be in some kind of trouble.
Wait a minute, what do you mean?
Huh? That's why you two are traveling together, right? That's quite a feat for Dad to take a trip. She continued talking in a happy tone.
But I'm not traveling. I'm the only one at home. And my husband is on a business trip.
Not understanding the question, I told her the truth.
I'm not traveling. I'm home.
What? Home?
But Dad, your father is in LA on business. So I'm home alone.
A business trip?
And in LA? You mean he's not with you? Of course not. It's a business trip. Why are you asking?
Dad is in Hawaii right now.
What? My husband can't be in Hawaii. He just left for LA yesterday. But there is no reason for her to lie. I asked her to get rid of the comfort. You must be mistaken. Why would he be in Hawaii in the first place?
I was surprised too. I just happened to be in Hawaii on business, and he was there. And I wanted to say hello, but I couldn't leave my post because I had work to do too.
Did you send him a message?
I did. But he hasn't read my messages.
But he's supposed to be in LA right now.
I'm his daughter. There's no way it's not him. He's definitely in Hawaii right now.
My heart skipped a beat. While I was puzzled, my daughter gasped. Julie, what's wrong?
I knew it was him. But he's with a woman.
What?
My daughter sends me a picture. There was my husband with a big smile on his face and a young woman with her arm around him. At that moment, I felt the trust I had cultivated in my husband grow cold. I despaired as the nature of my discomfort became clear to me. I couldn't believe it.
I can't believe he lied about working late and cheated on me. A business trip to LA? Are you kidding me? It was a complete lie.
I forced myself to calm down. I asked my daughter to take as many pictures as possible.
She was probably most uncomfortable,
but Julie said I'll take care of it and sent me several more pictures after that. She sent me many more pictures of my husband and the woman he was having an affair with, in close proximity, and also pictures of them kissing without a care in the world. I guess because they don't think anyone around them know who they are. When I saw those pictures, I felt more anger than sadness. Having obtained the evidence of the affair, I went to the lawyer's office with them. I asked them to file for alimony and divorce proceedings. And I started looking for a new place to live at the same time. Fortunately, I found a place quickly. I stayed at an Airbnb until I moved in. While my husband was gone, I moved all my belongings out of the house. I want to get out of this house with that man as soon as possible.
Goodbye.
I muttered to myself and left the house where I had lived for about 30 years. A few days later, I checked my phone and found dozens of incoming calls from my husband. He finally came home. I have a lot of things I have to face from now on. I called my husband and he yelled at me from the very beginning of the conversation.
What are you doing?
What are you so angry about?
Isn't it obvious? Why is all your stuff gone?
Because I left.
Huh? You left?
I've never disobeyed my husband before. So it must have been a shock when he came back from a cheating trip and all my belongings are gone. I told him the truth, despite his impatience. I'm telling you, I'm not going back there. You don't need me anymore, right?
What are you talking about? We're a couple. Don't be ridiculous.
A couple? You have a young lover? Why don't you be with her? I guess my husband had no idea that he had been caught cheating on me. I could feel his panic over the phone. William, perhaps thinking that this was bad, immediately started to make excuses.
No, it's not that. You've got it all wrong, don't you? I didn't cheat on you?
I have pictures of you too on vacation in Hawaii. And our daughter Julie was the one who saw you cheating.
What?
Julie went to Hawaii for work, and she called me and said you were there. She thought you were traveling with me. I can't believe you would betray us like this.
That's too much of a coincidence.
My husband, who is on the other end of the phone, whimpering. I was angry at his convenient attitude. I told him off. What are you crying for? You betrayed your family yourself, and now you're playing a victim for convenience. How many times have I tried to confront you? You were saying you were working overtime to cover up your lies, and now that you've been found out, you can't admit to it.
Helen, please. I don't want a divorce.
I don't care how you feel. I've already decided I'm getting a divorce. Of course, Julie agrees. She doesn't want a father like you anymore. You're on your own from now on with the woman you cheated on me with.
Wait a minute. Listen to me.
I ended the call, ignoring my husband's shaky voice. He kept trying to call me, but I ignored them all. Afterwards, the evidence of the affair worked in my favor, and I divorced my husband. I demanded the reasonable amount of alimony from William and his lover. Apparently, the affair partner was a temporary worker at the same company as William. The company found out that she was taking a leave of absence at the same time as William, and William got divorced around the same time. So their relationship spread rapidly. Eventually, the affair partner resigned voluntarily because it became too difficult for her to stay, and William was transferred to a new department on the verge of retirement. Rumor has it that their relationship spontaneously dissolved. In the end, I guess he was just being used for money by his affair partner. Second that. I, on the other hand, am living a full life in my new house. Only my husband is missing from the happiness I take for granted, but there are still other parts of me left. A job, a peaceful life, and a daughter I love. That is enough to make me happy. I am going to find a lot of happiness around me in the future to replace the missing parts.